Hi guys, we are live. We are live on Instagram and we are live on Facebook. We've got dual screens going here, so we'll be looking at both. But we always like to give someone just a few minutes to kind of join. It's the lunch break. We're only 1 minute in, so we'll do the kind of awkward thing where we just kind of wait. Hi everyone joining. We are just sitting here. This is Elizabeth with EK Collab, and we will do introductions and all of that really soon. But we're just waiting on everyone to join. Oh, look at all the love. Thank you guys. That's so awesome. So it's going to be kind of funny because we have dual screens stacked. So you guys on Instagram are up there, and if you're having any trouble, if you're having any trouble hearing us, let me know. Thanks for joining Milk Bar. Thanks, Nikki. And we've also got Facebook down here, so we're going to kind of be looking to both, and then we also have just everything we want to share with you today over on a whiteboard over here. If you joined us yesterday, you know that that's kind of how we roll for these lives. We kind of need a script a little bit to make sure we stay on track. But as we're letting everyone join and trickle in, I just wanted to remind you to please ask questions. So add those in the comments on Instagram, comments on Facebook, and towards the end, we'll save time for a Q&A. I mean, being here with Elizabeth, you have a videographer to ask questions to. So, I mean, take advantage of that. So we're giving everyone just a few minutes. I love seeing everyone joining. So we've got some folks starting to come in, yep, on Facebook. Hi, guys. All right. It looks like we're getting rolling here on Instagram, too. So why don't we just kind of kick off? Yeah. Welcome.
Thank you.
This is Elizabeth. She is with EK Collab here in Charleston.
Yep.
I'm going to let you talk a lot more about it, but as a quick introduction, they do videography, and you'll hear a lot more about that. But I also just wanted to remind everyone why we're here this week going live at noon every single day. So it is National Business Women's Week.
Yay.
Yay! So I'm teaming up with awesome women business owners this week just to bring you some knowledge sharing and just to kind of get everything that's in our heads out and share it and just introduce you to some new people. So we'll kind of talk about this, and Elizabeth will let you know how to get in touch. But I mean, some businesses are brand new to this, yes, and we may not be able to tag them on Instagram yet. And then some businesses have been around for a while. We chatted with Liz, the Charleston Weekender, yesterday, and she's got a new shop, but she's been in the online world for a little while. So she was great as far as tips and tricks for that. So ask questions in the comments. We'll leave time for a Q&A at the very end. So give us your questions, kind of trickle those in. Make sure that, you know, anything video-wise or even small business ownership and getting up and running and all of that. We talked about struggles yesterday. Liz broke into that for us, some real talk, which was really nice.
Yes,
so
nice to know.
Anyway, that's why we're here. That's who we're with. And Elizabeth, I'd love to turn it over to you and just hear more about EK Collab and how you guys came to be and what you do.
Yes, well, thank you for having me. This is exciting to be able to talk about our business and hopefully get some chat and feedback because we are new and we've been doing video for a while, but have just embarked on our own as a business. And so it's good anytime to get feedback and learn what people are interested in, needs are outside of our world.
Yeah. So. And we share an office, I should say. So this is our lobby. And Emily of Suite 33 has done an awesome job decorating it recently. So that's where we are, and we're office mates. So we share rooms. So it's nice just to get out of our offices and just do something like this too.
Yes.
So tell us more about EK Collab.
Yes. Okay. So very exciting. We actually have a business partner, Catherine Kelly, and we started, she's behind. She's got the camera.
So if something goes wrong like it did yesterday, we're going to call her in.
Or if there's some question that requires a different brain, that would be great too. I like the flexibility.
I know. I know. It's live.
It's live. Yeah. So, but we have been doing video for a while. I've worked for a bunch of different organizations, private, business, government, nonprofit, and have always done messaging and getting the point across in a meaningful, authentic way and helping people to emotionally connect to what's the product or the organization and why it matters. So what we have learned, Catherine joined me at the last place we worked, Low Country Land Trust, and we started to really figure out that video is a powerful tool. So we both came about this in a really different way. A lot of people that we've worked with, we were the people doing websites and doing marketing and also programming. And we started to realize how powerful video is. So we actually came from it from an implementation standpoint. We worked with some videographers, and we still do. They've actually come on board with us in this current business. So it's nice that we can pull on people when we need to. And I would say that that's where the collaboration comes from. And it's critical because projects tend to evolve and get bigger, and we have the capacity as a small business to then enter realms that we may not be able to otherwise, that we were able to when we were with organizations with resources.
Yeah, I think that's a huge perk of working with small businesses too, is that usually we've all created our networks that we can kind of like say, okay, you're hiring just me in this one thing that you need, but when you do need that extra support, we're going to kind of bring that in. So, and that's what people I'm even seeing joining here, I've collaborated with in the past and brought them in on things, or there are people who've asked me about services. So, I mean, it's cool to see everybody who's joining on Instagram and on Facebook as well.
Yeah, so I was saying we don't have our Facebook or Instagram up yet, which is, you know, the cobbler's shoes, I guess, in some way, but also a strategic decision because we know that with the video and the power of getting our message out, that we wanted to allow time to work through it, get feedback, build a portfolio. So thank y'all for joining. It's very exciting to see.
I know, it's nice to know we're not alone and that people are trickling in and joining.
But so, you know, I think the most interesting part, and we were talking about this earlier, is we found film to be a vehicle and a tool. And I think it really can be for most any business or any organization. And we had on the ground results. So we worked with videographers and then we started doing it on our own. So they're all different levels of videos, and when you need professional and when you can, and
we'll talk a little bit more about that because I know that a lot of people are wondering kind of the high end and low end and all of that. So we'll definitely hit on that too. And send your questions in if you have more on that. Please,
because we do have a lot of experience of the evolution of this and where we had impact and when it was really worth putting the resources into it. Yeah. And so I would say, you know, history-wise, that really started about 4 or 5 years ago, and the video, I think the first one we did was 6 years ago, and it took a little while to get really make it useful, and it was really good for internal events. But what we learned over time is how you break it apart and how you can really use it on a daily basis, and to whether it's boosting engagement or boosting actually in a nonprofit, it's memberships and things like that. And we had examples where we could see numbers tick up. And I think video made what can be unapproachable sometimes or just time consuming really approachable and really easy for people to connect. And so after a while, we realized we had people starting to call us and asking us, will you do videos for us? And we hadn't thought of ourselves quite that way. So I think it's really cool to have people that are paying attention and helping push you along. And I think that's what's so great about this week is that women oftentimes.
I mean, how many of you guys, give us a little hand raise emoji or leave us a comment. How many of you guys kind of like happened upon what you're passionate about and good at because people started requesting that service of you? Like Mary Beth, I'm seeing that you just joined. Hello. She's a photographer. And so I know that can happen kind of organically in the same way. And I know that for us, we had people saying, can I just pick your brain over coffee about social media, to the point where my husband was like, you should probably charge somebody for all that consulting that you're doing over coffee. So that's awesome that it happened organically.
It did happen organically, and then we spent a good while figuring out how we could actually make it work, and started doing some projects. So Catherine went to film school, and I started going around and meeting other film companies and really figuring out how we could do this and what our niche and talents could really add to the industry. And that's what we really spent a lot of time on. And so y'all will all, as soon as our website is up, get it, because we're very excited about putting all that together. And I'm sure all of you have been through the process of, and so, leading into what we've realized, even on the projects we've been working on for the past 6 months, is that video is so powerful to help figuring out who you are, how to best express your brand, and really talk about processes that you go through and make you unique. Or, what we find with a lot of groups we've worked with, especially small business, is there's a lot of quality that goes into the work that sometimes is unnoticed. And a video can be really powerful in displaying that level of effort and quality, and that's what they're interested in, understanding that and connecting to that. And if it represents them and that brand, then it has a new meaning.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love too that you guys, it's both of you. So, and it seems like you've both got strengths and weaknesses, and they both play off of each other. And I'm just so impressed that you have kind of the film school side with Catherine, and then you're like, But it's so awesome because, and we've had this conversation before, when you're a new business owner and a woman business owner, it's sometimes hard to prove to someone that you've got the skills and that you are a legit business, and you're not just like, this isn't just a side hustle for you. This is like your business. This is what you want to do and can do and are good at. So.
I couldn't agree more. And I mean, we've had people ask us where our camera guy is, and we're like, here we are.
We're the camera gals.
So, and that's one thing, I think that it's been cool to learn about in this video process, is that it doesn't need to be intimidating. And it's often, there are a lot of fields where maybe if they're male dominated, sometimes they can be unapproachable and intimidating. And so it's been fun for us to break through that barrier and do it in a feminine way and have people be able to take that track. It's another option.
Absolutely. And I love this. I'm starting to see some comments come in. So Lauren said for her, she did the little raise hand emoji that we were saying earlier. And she said she does pressed flower art after, oh, that's cool, pressing my bridal bouquet last year. Cool. And then people, I guess, were requesting that. So that's really cool. So this is awesome. Thank you guys. Keep the comments coming and questions. But in preparation for this, I couldn't help, working in social media, and then I'm sure small business owners too, we hear that, video content is king, and you have to do video, and you have to get into video. So I actually went and pulled some stats that I think are pretty interesting. So Social Media Today, this is crazy, you guys, reports that online videos will account for more than 80% of all consumer internet traffic by 2020. So 80% video on the web by 2020. That's kind of crazy. And then I also read a stat for Facebook specifically that says on average, Facebook videos receive 135% more organic reach than a Facebook photo. And so anybody who has an Instagram account, I think, can relate to this, or a Facebook account, since this is a Facebook specific stat, can relate to the fact that when you put out an organic post and you're not paying to play, you get no engagement on that. And you've worked so hard to build all of your followers, and you're just not seeing the effort come back to you. So just by doing a video, you can kind of not beat the algorithm, but kind of just play within it. We talked a little bit about that yesterday. So I thought that was interesting. And then just one final stat before we kind of move into how,
I love this one.
I do too, how we can do video with small business owners and work and partner with people who do video, is companies which use videos in their marketing grow revenue 49% faster year on year than those which don't. Like, that's crazy. Companies which use videos in their marketing grow revenue 49% faster year on year than those which don't. I mean, 49% is a huge stat.
I think one thing I always think about is that when you think 10 years ago, websites, you had to have a website. It was this crazy thing, people had to sort through it, and that's how what is so cool about video, and why I think this stat is so powerful, is that you can be so much more adaptable with video and use it in so many different ways. And so I do think that it really is making a difference quickly in how people are able to get their message and connect with people. And we saw it. I mean, we saw it on a daily basis at the land trust for sure, and with other clients that we've worked with, that all of a sudden a product that they had would sell out, that they had never sold any of before, because you have a chance to visually show the story, but also audibly.
Yeah.
And people then can feel the emotion, the authenticity. It's distinguishing. Mm-hmm. So I do think that it's something we found with our clients, and just even instilling pride that
absolutely
a website can't necessarily do that. So it's pretty cool to have this.
And I always tell clients too that, you know, word of mouth, we all know, is the best type of marketing, but you can't technically buy word of mouth. But I feel like online video is the best and closest you can get to word of mouth, because you can, like you said, describe the product and show it and really give this.
Well, I know for us, and this would go for any brand and any small business, a lot of times testimonials and people, when people hear it directly from the person, it has a lot more impact than trying to just read a page or, and so we had several situations where we were able to pitch entire projects based on pulling people together in video, or entire products that were new, that you already can show your following and show people belief.
That's cool. I love the idea of video testimonials.
Yeah.
That's really very powerful. Okay, so we've teed it up. Videos we know are important. We know we should all be doing them for our small businesses. Like you said with websites were really like this crazy overwhelming, like seemed very high barrier, to entry. And I know video feels that way sometimes too. So, you know, we're live just on an iPhone and a computer right now. But that's probably the low end of it. And then there's a high end. So I would kind of love to hear any tips you have, or like what people can use just to kind of test out and get into video.
Yeah, I think, like you're saying, an iPhone is super powerful. Yeah. And I wouldn't underestimate it ever. And video, you know, video is really intimidating upon when you think about the equipment and the needs. And so I would say, don't let the equipment scare you, and don't not do something because you don't have equipment or you don't have the technical skills to do it. The iPhone is a great start to test things out. And I think that's really useful. And if you start putting some stuff out and you realize you're getting traction, and what you're getting traction on and what you're not getting traction on, it's a good way to save yourself some resources. Because I do think, to one of your questions of when do you bring in somebody and when do you use low end and when do you use high end, I think for research purposes, use low end. I mean, why would you ever, you wouldn't want to do that. And I also think if you're just doing a quick snippet, use low end. What we find the most effective use of resources is to bring us in, or someone else, but with a strategy and getting your message and your process and your brand. So it's and I've talked about it several times at this point, because it really does matter. That if you can get your message where you have it visually and you have the verbiage straight, then anything you do going forward, your videos are going to have a lot more meaning. So yes, you bring in somebody, you put those resources, we can help you figure out, you need to get out of your bubble and have somebody else examine, look at, and that's where I do use the analogy of websites. That's where websites, why people, it just became crazy, because people had to, and I remember I've built, probably not technically built, but had worked on probably 10 websites, and you had to analyze everything. And I think what video does, it doesn't make you have to go, websites used to be books, now they're more visual, which is like websites require videos, but the video now is the most powerful and adaptable tool to figure out, this is our story, this is who we are, this is who we're targeting, this is, and you have to ask yourself, when you're working with us, you have to go through a process, which you wouldn't necessarily do or be able to do on your own. So I think that's a good use of resources. And then, you know, Erin and I have been able to collaborate a lot on, all right, then how do you take that video and leverage it so that you put your resources in it, and you know, all right, we've got this straight, whether that's splicing that up or if it's creating your own videos. As a result of it, you'll have a lot more clarity because you've gone through a process.
And we've talked about that before, when we're like bouncing ideas off and talking about clients and how we can create video content and get them online. And I kind of referenced it as snackable content. So, you know, you capture enough content for a 2-minute video, but how do you slice and dice that so that you can get, you know, 3, 5, however many different little snippets out of it? Even just like B-roll of things and talk about like coming soon and give sneak peeks, and how can you just, you know, make sure that you're optimizing your videos to be able to use elsewhere? Because if you're going to invest even just the time on an iPhone, you want to make sure that you're planning out everything.
And for your brand, you don't want to just be randomly putting things out there, because it's a decision. Every time you put something out there, it's a decision and an impact on your brand. So you want it to be a positive reflection and expression.
Yeah, absolutely. So I love how you mentioned, you know, you can get like in your bubble and kind of just not know how to get out of it and all of that. And that's a great time when to reach out and hire someone to get that going. What if someone is kind of doing their research and testing it? Do you have tips for them on like when they go to do an iPhone video, kind of, you should do this first, or you should not do this, or try this?
I think the best thing is research, and video. The beautiful thing about videos is they're all out there. And so you can go do it on your own time and really figuring out what appeals to you and what you're trying to do in examples. And so, you know, I would say there's editing software at wemovie.com, and it's simple, and that's a good one.
Movie.
To just start with, and then you know, I think just some good examples for inspiration that we have found, and I think would be good for anybody. Patagonia is a great one, and they are a corporation, a bigger brand, but you will find the way that they use video is really subtle and powerful. And so I think if you can get in your head and click around, oh wow, that's really clever how they were able to utilize video and bring their philosophy and message across. Yeti is another one, and it's more a masculine one, but you'll find, I think what's really fun about Yeti, we go to Yeti all the time, we go to Patagonia all the time, because they're creative and it's not as slick. And I think for a small business especially, that's approachable, where you'll look at some other ones and they're super commercial and they're just not anything you would ever replicate or do. You may love them and they may be beautiful and fun, but I think it's really figuring out things that you can relate to and say, oh, okay, I have this. What if I did that twist with my product or brand, and you can see how they did it. Another one is Tracksmith, and that one I would go to. They do it. One of the stats you had that I thought was also interesting is that, and let me find it because I really thought it was cool. Aaron nailed it.
I like stats, and you guys, if you follow me on my Insta stories, I like to share those too. It's kind of fun to see where the industry's going.
It's validating.
Totally.
So the one where you said, it's taking me a second to find it, but people watch the video and they don't necessarily listen to the sound. So Tracksmith is really interesting because you can
85% of Facebook videos are watched without sound. That's crazy, 85%.
So it's a really good one because they use text and it's really smart. And I think that, you know, the other ones are bigger companies, and I think this is nice because it's one brand. I think the part where Patagonia and Yeti could be a struggle is they're doing so many things. So this is an alternative to just looking kind of more zoned in on one thing.
And I'll add those to the comments, guys, on Facebook, so that you can go look up those brands. And I would love to, hold on, our Instagram video paused. This is the beauty of live, that you get to kind of go back and forth on this. Okay, I think we're back up and running on Instagram. So I will add these examples to the comments on Facebook if you guys want to go look at them. And I would love to, we're going to do at the end of this week, probably coming next week, a recap on the blog of just kind of things we learned and takeaways and all of that. So if you guys have videos that you really love, or brands who you think do it really well, please share those in the comments. We would love to know kind of what brands you're looking at for video as well.
Yeah, and I think like anything, that inspiration also, you can start to see yourself in it, which is the big thing of getting over the barrier sometimes of thinking that you need a film crew and all this equipment. We often don't use that. You know, I mean, it's very important to really, I think it's very important to consider it from what do you really need and accomplishing that versus getting caught up in the technical.
Absolutely. So tell me give me like a day in the life, like of working with you guys. Like what does the process kind of look like, and how do you, because I don't even know, like how do you work with a videographer? What do you need to get in advance or know in advance? Like, I think that's part of the problem too. Like I would feel as a small business, like I need to have all my ducks in a row before I reach out to anyone. I mean, what do you look for? What do you need?
Yes. So I think this comes in where we're a little different because we've been on the other side. We have been the people who showed up at meetings and didn't know what we wanted, and we're actually counting on help. And so we're very much, I would say, laid back in the sense of let's work through it, and we listen and want to hear what your needs are, and then we will help you get from point A to your end goal in the most efficient and economic way possible. I think that's something oftentimes with video that you don't associate. So we're really big because we had budgets and nonprofit, you don't. That how can we be creative and clever and really get the most bang for the buck, and we enjoy figuring that out. The other thing, we'll ask a lot of questions just to really sort through, and then we're your connector. So we'll get a lot of conversation and interview you to figure out, okay, where are the challenges? How can we help with those challenges? And so I think our value is we can really provide some therapy, if you will. And sometimes that's what's needed. And then also, we like the back and forth where you say, no, that's not what I was thinking. And so there's a lot of front end time that's really important for us to get to know what are you trying to get across. And if we read it wrong, we want to know that. So I would say that's where I find being a female and being more laid back, it's a little bit of a different process because we enjoy that and find it to be really critical to the process because we want to deliver what you want. We actually aren't looking to deliver you something that we want. That does us no good. So we like being behind the scenes and helping you figure out and you shine. And so there's a lot of front end time. And then you get into things like shooting schedules and what is the imagery that's going to bring that to life. But I would say, a day in our life with that is that we would have meetings here and then we'll pull in whoever we need to make sure we do a lot of front end research because we don't want to waste anybody's time or resources by not having that really be useful in the end. And I think that's something we had in the beginning, a lot of videos that they were one time, they were awesome and they were super cool and we got fanfare for them. But what we learned over the years is that what's really valuable are the things that are useful, they can be used more than one time. They're not going to sit on the shelf or now it's in a drive or
in the cloud.
But we because we had limited resources, we were doing 10 million other things that we realized whatever we do, if we're going to put that amount of time and resource and heart into it, that we want it actually to be a product that can be used in multiple ways.
Absolutely. And I think too, it's National Business Women's Week, so I can totally say this. I think too, as women, there's just something, and you guys tell me if you agree, there's just something about women's intuition and questions and kind of you can dig deeper and kind of get to things. And I think too that there's a lot of brands out there that are targeted to women, and whether you're in the wedding industry or whether you make jewelry. I just saw Hermosa Jewelry join, so that popped into my head. But no matter what your brand is, there's a lot of brands out there that are women focused, and there aren't a lot of women videographers who are doing what you guys are doing. So I think that's a huge perk, and that's why we all need to band together here.
Well, I'll tell you, it's something that we have had, the videographers we've worked with, they have ended up finding it such an asset because they're like, we can take killer pictures, but getting the depth and the content and digging, they don't want to do that. They'll say it openly, but we find it fun. So I think that's a big difference that we've realized that the product's a little different. And I see somebody said the hardest thing about videos, it feels so real and personal. It is so hard.
Cameron, I have to remind myself now when.
It's hard.
Stat that 80% of content will be video by 2020 lights my fire. Yay!
Good to that.
Fire's lit.
It is hard, and I do think that we have a lot of clients we've worked with that have never done video before for just that reason. And I think that you go through a little process, which is where the front end work, when you enter it and the camera's actually running and you know what you're trying to present, and then you have somebody saying, no, that didn't do it this time, let's do it. And you have support versus, I think that's the thing that we found, not versus anything, but I think that we found was really powerful. We could go in and really work with people and create a comfort and our trade is really to be easy to work with and make sure you get what you want. And I do think that's a real, what you're saying is real. And
I mean, I love when I'm working with a photographer and they're like, that's not the right angle for you. Like, maybe you should just adjust it this way. Or like, can I straighten this? Or can I move that? And I feel like as like woman to woman, you can totally do that.
And for the message. That, you know, it's kind of, I think, you know, things that we need to watch out for or not edge too far in because it could be a misperception. And so I think video is scary in that way because you want to get it right. And we get that. I mean, I will say that's where the usefulness, I would say, that's why earlier referring to your message and your, the process of that is really valuable.
So for people who are getting a fire lit under them, which is so exciting, and that want to kind of test into this, you mentioned research. You're doing a lot of research up front. What do you mean by that? Like, inspiration or like what type of research?
So I think there's inspiration and there's tone.
Okay.
And so videos are really personal and they are really reflective. And so it's helpful to us if, you know, somebody comes in and they know what they like, and they know what they don't like even more, because it is how you express your brand. And so if you know, I like things soft, I like things to have, I want to highlight the pain of the process, or I want to show the beauty of the process, and you have things that do that, and that's where I do think Patagonia and Yeti are fun because they have all different types, and you can see there's one that, and they're all awesome. Each one, there's not one that's better than the other.
And is that on YouTube for them? Their website, where
their website has them in YouTube. And so you'll realize, I mean, Catherine and I always talk, there are ones I love and there are ones she loves, there are ones she loves that I hate. And so, I mean, it's a really good process to go through because it's an exploration, kind of if you go shopping and you're trying on clothes. I mean, you need to go through the process. Sometimes it's really painful. But it's important.
I know, that's the hard part, is making yourself actually do that research.
It is. But I do think that when you get to that place, it's very valuable to do it.
So how do we contact you?
Well, clearly not Instagram. Not yet. We will, email is a great way. So if you can put our email in there, and hopefully in the next couple of weeks we'll have our website up, and we actually will be looking for feedback for that. So we would love to hear from all of y'all. We'll get Erin to post it, but one of the things we're struggling with is we want to know, are we putting the right information up? Are we answering the right questions? Is there more or less? So because y'all are savvy and you have real life questions, that would be something we would love, is to get that kind of feedback from people who really are thinking about it.
Awesome. So we'll post their email on the Facebook post here. So those on Instagram who are watching now or who will watch the replay in the next 24 hours, hop over to our Facebook page. It's just Pinckney Palm, same exact handle on Instagram as it is on Facebook. And we'll post all this information and hopefully get it in a blog post as well. But I feel you on that. I think I sat on my website for a good 2 months because I just was like, am I ready to launch this? Am I saying the right things?
Well, there are two of us, so we have to fight through it all. So there's been, we have to really hash it out. Two strong personalities. But
which can be a good thing too.
It is for our clients.
Okay, so let's recap for those who joined late or who just have fast forwarded to the end. I think I've learned a lot today. So just as far as video, it's coming for us. By 2020, 80% video will be video will be 80% of the internet traffic by 2020. So it's not something we can ignore. We need to get on it now.
Yeah.
And I think I heard from you, you can start with iPhone. I mean,
Definitely.
don't like go buy fancy equipment or try and do any of that. Just
no, and like put some stuff out there and see
Yeah.
how people respond to it.
Test.
That is really valuable.
Okay. And then she shared some great, so Yeti, Patagonia, as far as video inspiration, go check them out. What were the apps that you shared again? We'll post them, but just for this recap.
We didn't do apps. We
Not
said,
apps, editing.
The WeMovie.com.
WeMovie.com.
And there's a HubSpot Marketing. Is another
Okay.
one we didn't talk about it, but it's a
Okay.
good one to check out.
Okay.
And Tracksmith was the other
Tracksmith.
website.
That was the other website. Okay.
Mhm.
So good resources there. Go check those out. And then I think that was it, right?
Yeah.
Just reach out to you guys.
Yeah.
Any
Yeah,
questions?
we would love it.
and
We're
projects. And,
open and ready.
okay, I think I see. Oh, we have a question. Oh, no, we don't. Have to watch from the beginning. Yes, jewelry. So, go ladies. Thank you for that encouragement. It is nice to see like people joining.
It's so
and, like,
nice. It makes
commenting.
me feel so much better.
Yeah, it does. So, yeah, what we'll do now is we will post this onto Facebook. It'll live there forever and ever as long as Facebook is still alive. And then on Instagram, it'll be available in our stories for the next 24 hours, which is really cool. And we're doing this every day this week. So tomorrow I am teaming up with Serena. She's from Anaris Photography, and she will be talking about taking photos for social media and how we can do that. And that'll be here in this lovely office again. So no change of scenery there, but we will be joined by her tomorrow. We're teaming up with 2 bloggers on Thursday, Casey and Ashley. They're with Hanging with the Hewitts and Sweet Southern Prep. So we'll be teaming up with them on Thursday, and on Friday we'll be at Milk Bar, the nail salon, and we'll be talking about how to build your business on Instagram, because she just did, Katie, who's at Milk Bar, did such a great job doing that. So that's our lineup for the week.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for jumping on. And if there's any questions, you can always leave a comment in the Facebook post about this, and we can always get back to you or answer that to the group so that everybody sees that answer. So awesome. That's our app.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay. Now we're going to do the awkward thing where we have to get really close to the camera and turn off and finish.